Carl, welcome back to Us Weekly.
Thank you for having me.
It's so good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Lots changed since last time we spoke.
Just a few things.
Just a few things.
Just a couple things.
But it seems like you're doing great.
I'm doing well. I mean, very lucky. I've got a lot of good things going on. So, I try to stay optimistic, but I still deep down feel like there's a lot of work to do. But certainly from where I was last year on this couch with Kyle and Amanda to now, it's stark difference.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Feeling much better.
How's the bar going?
It's coming along.
Yeah.
We're, fingers crossed, hopefully going to be opening for June. Don't quote me.
Okay.
But most likely July.
That's awesome.
So I have an awesome space in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. I've been working basically to get it up and running. We signed the lease in December.
Okay.
So we've only had it for 2 months, but we started construction. We're starting some initial things. But as anybody who's ever tried to open a bar or restaurant, regardless of serving alcohol or not, it is a very challenging industry.
Right.
But I have everything lined up. I have experts in their field and their craft. I brought together a really strong team. And I'm really excited to show people what I've been dreaming about and envisioning, which is basically a place you can come any time of day, sit down with a friend or by yourself and drink an amazing non-alcoholic drink. It's not all about sobriety. We don't serve alcohol, but it's for everybody. I want people to just come and sit down and enjoy these alternative drinks.
That's awesome. That's so great. So, I mean, you've been talking about it for a while. Well, actually, it hasn't been that long. Right, to have this kind of dream and then have it kind of come together so quickly. That's really great.
I mean, when I got sober in 2020, officially 2021, I was learning a lot about what else is out there to drink and what are my options. And obviously with Kyle and Amanda, I was kind of going, we should come out with a Loverboy non-alc. Yeah. And once we did that, that's what I started to realize. There's still a lot of opportunity here. And it wasn't all about, I didn't want to make another product. We have one. Yeah. Loverboy, it's great. What I wanted to create was a place you can come and experience. Because I still believe there's a lot of amazing non-alc drinks, but there's not really a place to go sit down and enjoy all of that. All without the influence of alcohol.
Definitely. And you could still have that bar experience.
Correct. And wait till you see the spot. I mean, I'm hoping we could film the next season there.
Sure.
But it's a really cool industrial space. Think Brooklyn industrial. It's got the cool vibe. But I'm pretty sure when you walk in there, you're going to go, I don't care what they serve here. I want to hang out here because how cool it looks and how cool it feels.
Good for you. Congratulations. So, thank you. That's awesome.
I don't feel like I'm actually working.
Right.
But trust me, it's been a massive undertaking. And I can't wait for people to see it.
Good. So where do you stand with Loverboy now?
I'm still working with them. Okay. Still helping Kyle and Amanda. Candidly, I've been focused on the soft bar piece. The good news is Kyle is involved with soft bar. He's advising. He's invested. He's certainly a great support. But he knows how excited I am. And the best part about soft bar is we are going to serve Loverboy non-alc.
Perfect.
There, which I always dreamt. Kyle and I always joked about having a place not unlike Lisa's restaurants in LA or Tom Tom. It'd be cool to have like a destination where you could just go any time of the year and like you'd embody or feel like you're in the summer house. Yeah. So this is kind of an extension of that.
That's
and
perfect.
I'm hoping that a lot of people that come and visit New York will want to come and check out Soft Bar.
Oh, I can't wait to check it out.
Drink a Loverboy NA.
Yes.
And kind of feel like they're hanging out with us.
That's awesome. Happy for you.
Thank
That's
you.
really great.
But yeah, I mean, Kyle and Amanda have been so cool and so supportive. We've had Kyle and I have had some ups and downs, but I love the guy. We're best friends. He's just been a great support on a personal level, but also just as like a mentor, and the business side of things. I've learned a lot from him and I take a lot of, I've like kind of modeled certain things to try and learn from him. And he's actually empowered me to, in a weird way, I don't know if I've actually told him this, but to like start my own thing and like give me the energy to like go for it.
And you're doing it. I love it. I love it.
Hopefully it works.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will.
Thank you. I appreciate you asking.
Of course. Yeah. And, we got to talk about Summer House.
What? What's that?
What's that? Gabby posed a question asking, in the first couple episodes, why you wanted to come back. So why did you want to? And Lindsay too. Yeah. Why did you want to come back?
I mean, I've been going out to the Hamptons for 10 plus years, even before we were doing a TV show. I have really strong friendships. I wanted to come back and try to move forward and just move on. And I thought, I get it's weird. I get it's awkward. But if you think about it, Lindsay isn't drinking either.
Sure, right. Yeah.
So listen, we've all said things in the rooms and have commentary. It's a little disappointing to hear some of that, but I'm pretty confident and proud of what I bring to the table and what my reasonings for being out there. And I've been going out there for longer than it's been a show. And I've been going out there every season it's been a show. So just because I am now single and don't drink, why does that preclude me? So, you know, trust me, I'm not the only person that thinks out loud going, oh, Carl doesn't drink, he's boring and not interesting. Like, I think that too.
No.
But I also hope that I contributed in other ways.
Right. And I don't think the question, it was more like, why would you want to be in the house with your ex?
I mean,
not because you don't drink.
Yeah, well, I guess I was more referencing, I think, what she had said in the room there. But I get that question a lot.
Sure.
And the way I look at it is this. If I was drinking, I would not be in the house.
Yeah.
That's the fact. Because I wouldn't be there. Because my level of drinking and hard cocaine use, I would have been chasing the night and doing crazy things. And that's not something anybody would want to watch anyway. So I'm very lucky that I've been afforded the opportunity to still be supported by my friends, come out there, have fun, and show another side of being social and going out without alcohol. Now I know I may not be as messy, but I'm pretty sure I'm still messy in some ways.
Yeah. Does that hurt your feelings though when people question that, like, why are you here because you don't drink?
Yeah, I think it definitely makes you feel a little insecure about your choices and what's best for you. But I've learned a lot over the years in 4+ years of no alcohol. And what's interesting, and any time I hear someone comment like that, just try to let it brush off. You know, I think what I've said a lot is it says more about that person than it does about me. Yeah. If anything, it almost calls into question some of their own insecurities. But I love Gabby and I appreciate the commentary, but I think you'll see on this season I bring a lot to the table.
I'm sure you do. So, I'm sure there's a lot to cover. A lot to cover. What was your feelings going into, like, because you could feel the tension, you could feel the awkwardness and uncomfortableness when you walked in. I mean, what was that like for you? Yeah,
I mean, obviously watching it back, like, it's interesting to kind of put yourself back in that moment, but I think people forget. We had broken up at the end of August 2023. We then relived all of the breakup for the spring of 2024. The reunion was in May. We then start filming the next season at the end of June.
Yeah, there's like no break.
I found out the day before I got to the house that she was pregnant. So there was just a lot to process. And I had heard rumors going around, but it was none of my business. And didn't want any part of that. So like I found out, I went to the house the next day, pull into the driveway. I see the car that we bought together that she now owns as part of the breakup. So that actually was interesting. Like I pull into the house, I'm like, oh, there's the car. Like I hadn't seen the car in a long time. Then I got into the house and of course there was a lot of nerves. I care about her. I wanted nothing but the best for her, but I didn't know how to say it. And I didn't know when or the right timing of how to handle that. I also knew that I was the elephant in the room about to walk in the house. Everybody's about to wait. Like, what's Carl going to do or say? I'm proud that I was able to deliver what I wanted to say. I do really care what other people think. And I wanted her to know that I was happy, but I didn't know how to say that without, I don't know. I just wanted to deliver the right message. And I felt like I did.
I think you did.
But I think you'll see over the course of the season, it was I'm glad I actually like had that closure because it actually allowed, I think, both of us to move on. And if anything, after that kind of awkwardness in the kitchen, we were just cool and cordial. Now, yes, there will be another pretty epic moment that comes up. But for the most part, it was like two former friends who like just get along just because it's easier. And I don't know. I think over time it may change. But
change in how? In which way?
I mean, Kyle likes to think that we might be friends down the line at some point. I have no prediction other than I just want her to be happy and healthy. Yeah. There's so much history between us. I mean, we and her have been friends longer than we were together and or engaged. You know, I'd met her in 2016. We didn't start dating until 2020. So there was a lot of years of just friendship. Yeah. And then there's no playbook for how to do it.
No, there really isn't.
And it's unusual to have to like be in the same circle, but I'm sure we're not the only people in the world that have had a breakup and still have some mutual friends, and you navigate that. There's plenty of parents who co-parent. There's plenty of things that people get along for the better sake of the deal. Right. So
have you spoken since cameras went down? Have you reached out after the baby? Have you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm blocked on social media, so I've and then I saw her at the reunion. Sorry, the premiere party 2 weeks ago, and we just said hello.
Okay.
And it was very casual.
Well, that's good.
And nice. But yeah, I'm just trying to move on. And like I said, I think you'll see this season. It was interesting for me to watch this, but being in the house, seeing her happy and getting along with everybody, it was just nice to see.
Sure, yeah.
So,
did it hurt a little bit knowing that she moved on quickly?
It didn't hurt. It was more just, it was a lot to take in. Now, it's none of my business what she does. It really doesn't matter what I think. It actually doesn't matter what I think. She's able to do whatever she wants. And my opinion about it has no relevance at all. All I know is, for me, it was a lot to take in. You know, it's more about me projecting my own feelings about it, which is I didn't move on as quickly.
Right.
It took me a lot longer to feel confident to like try and explore meeting someone else. And that's where I think I got in the comparison game. Like, how can she move on so quickly and be so happy? And it just took me a little bit longer. So there was that feeling. I'm like, wow, like, teach me your ways.
Right. Yeah.
How do you go like from, you know, all of that into, but yeah, to each his own.
Yeah. Well, I think you said in an interview too, that once you found out that she was pregnant, it kind of felt like closure to you, right?
100%. I, at first hearing it, was like, okay, wow, she's really moved on. And not that I was expecting the door to be kept open for me. I don't know. You almost envision like it's going to be some time, you know, but I called a friend of mine, and he actually said to me, this is like some of the best information you could have, because it's really good closure. Yeah. You know, be happy for her, which I was, but recognize that this is like the reality, and you can now really move on. And then you don't have to worry, because she's chosen someone else, and that's what it is. So my therapist also challenged me going into the summer. She's like, Carl, this is the work you need to do. I can be avoidant. I can be shy from some conflict at times. And I didn't, you know, I wanted to face it, but she pushed me to like, this is a chance to like really heal. And she was absolutely right. Yeah. I'm glad I went to the house this past summer. Whether Gabby thinks I should be there or not, I'm glad I went, because I think it was important for me to show up and work through stuff. I got a lot closer with some of the girls that I wasn't, you know, expecting. Me and Sierra have been a lot closer now. Me and Paige are a lot closer. So it was nice to get back to some places that I had been in the past with people.
Do you feel like it was closure for Lindsay too? I'm going to probably have to ask her, but...
I mean, I would guess, I mean, I'm guessing she would have had closure well before that.
Right,
but I'm sure I'm guessing when she, you know, was dating and moving on, that it was like, okay, wow, like the universe has blessed me with, you know, being pregnant, like, and take that and run with it. And clearly, like, that's the universe, you know, telling her, and she's always wanted that. Like, it was something she's always dreamt of, and I know she's going to make an amazing mom. Yeah. And it makes me happy seeing her happy.
Sure, yeah.
It really does.
If she, hypothetically speaking, if she wasn't pregnant this summer, you said, you know, maybe the door would have been left open. I don't know if that's...
No, I said, I don't think the door was ever left open.
Were you ever, what was your, not intention going into the summer then if she wasn't pregnant, but like, what were you hoping maybe would happen? Just like that friendship?
I think just be cool. Yeah. You know, get along and be cordial. I mean, being friends with Lindsay for so long, I have seen her with other relationships, and I've seen after those relationships didn't continue. And she has been able to maintain some friendship with Everett and some of the other men along the way, but not all of them. So I, in my head, was thinking, okay, maybe there's a world where we could be cordial and have some level of decency towards each other down the line. Yeah. But going into the summer, knowing she was, you know, pregnant and moved on, like, yeah, that was like, I guess, more secure, knowing like she was already, but had she not been that way and just been single, it might have been more challenging, as we're both like single and trying to navigate being in the same environment. Totally. But it also, you know, for me, I was trying to meet people and flirt and date. Yeah. But I also didn't want to like, I wasn't trying to throw something in her face or bring a bunch of people back. That's not who I am anymore. But it was on, you know, be respectful and try to go about my business, but not trying to throw anything in her face at all.
And what was it like for you getting yourself back out there? Because like you said, it took a little while for you to get back into that headspace of wanting to date, but we see you kind of, you know, putting yourself back out there again. Was it weird?
Cringy, embarrassing, all the adjectives. I mean, yeah, it was good for myself, or good for me to put myself out there. It's funny, when you stop dating and are in a relationship, you got to like ride a bike again and learn how to walk and kind of learn how to do certain things. So it took me quite a while to feel confident and comfortable introducing myself to someone or trying to flirt with someone, because for a period of time, I had this in my head that everybody hated me. All of this stuff was so public and so intense that I almost thought that any person I would walk up to would be like, oh, you're that guy.
No.
And that's not accurate.
Right.
But that was coming from my own little twisted head. Yeah. So it took me some time to kind of feel comfortable and confident in my own skin. I'm embarrassed to even admit it, but like over the summer, I talked about the fact that I hadn't really been with anybody since Lindsay, and that everybody has their own way of healing and moving on. And for me, it just took me a lot longer. But I'm glad I finally put myself out there more. Yeah. I crashed and burned a couple times.
That's okay.
I look stupid, and that's totally fine. But I'm looking forward to keep dating. I've been dating a little bit this fall. I started dating a little bit more in the winter. Okay.
Anyone serious?
No one's serious. Okay. It's been good to put myself out there because I'm learning more about what I really don't want and more of what I do like. It's when you have to unwind some of the previous tendencies. And for me, taking some time also, it was important to heal from the past relationship so I don't bring in any of that energy to the next one. And I think within quick proximity, and again, the show airing in the spring, it's a lot. That we were at a wedding in April, mutual friends of ours. Lindsay was there with her boyfriend. Summer house. Lindsay and her boyfriend, Kyle and Amanda, me, so cool. At a wedding, another 150 people. We're at a kind of welcome drinks, an event that night. Event finishes, we go back to the hotel room, TV's on, summer house is on, Lindsay and I are engaged. So it's just a mental thing that you have to kind of work through. But that's where I don't think people fully understand is you're kind of reliving it all, but in a different way.
Sure,
and here I am live in the moment. It's April of 2024. Kyle and Amanda are sitting next to me, and across the table is Lindsay, and she's pregnant, or was I guess, but is moved on, and I'm just like...
You're like, this is such a weird mind mess.
So there's just a lot to process.
Sure.
There's no real recipe for how to go through it. I just think people forget sometimes that when the reality of it actually happens, and then when we relive it with you, we're going through it twice.
Would you date anybody else again in the reality TV space? Or
I got this question earlier. I've dated a fair amount in the Bravo world. I'm never going to say never, but I probably should date outside of the Bravo world just for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I always go back to this. There's something about someone who understands this world or can relate to it or can have some grace for it. Certainly being on TV for this long, I'm very lucky. I love doing it. It brings some challenges just with how you meet people or how you go about trying to date.
Yeah.
Because not everybody is comfortable with this or signed up for this or whatever it is. So I've crashed and burned a few times being single on this whole ordeal, but I'm not afraid to
put yourself out there.
Put myself back out there. But you'll see on this season, the first kind of foray, quickly I learned kind of some things, and you'll see how it plays out. But I'm glad I put myself out there, but it's probably going to be awkward to watch.
I'm sure, but that's how you learn from things, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like watching Shep on Southern Charm. I've always loved Shep, but watching him kind of put himself out there and kind of crash and burn a little bit.
Yeah,
I respect the hell out of it. I'm sure people love watching the awkwardness, but I give him credit.
Text message was awkward.
I mean, talk about my friends in text messages.
Right. Oh yeah.
They should send it to me first, and then I'll tell them whether to send it or not.
What did you make of the Kyle text to page? Because somebody screenshot it and posted it all. So.
I know. I was joking earlier. I told someone earlier that he should have just sent the text to me first, get it out of the system. I didn't know about him sending that until we were in the house over the summer, because it does materialize into another big fight. Yeah. More than what the preview shows.
Oh, okay.
It festers more than that. I don't agree with rage texting someone, especially your wife's friend and your friend. It's a difficult situation because I understand where Kyle's coming from. This is something that Kyle's got himself in some trouble before. It's how he delivers his, frustration versus what the frustration really is. Kyle feels like a lot of information has been inaccurate, that's been publicized. Right. And he's really defending of that. And I understand why, but he threw some other people under the bus as a result, and it kind of got a little, but I honestly wish we could just all get in a room and just hug it out and laugh about season 4 and 3 and the stupid things we've all been through together.
Sure.
you have business, relationships, egos, they all get wrapped up and people get hurt. And yeah, I don't love the text at all, but I hope Kyle learns from it, and I hope it doesn't create more issues for their relationship or, him and Paige can work through it.
All right. He and Paige still on the outs?
I think they've been cool as far as I know.
Okay.
But this whole text thing from the episode, I think just has popped back up. So I'm hoping they're cool and can work through it because of everything that's happened over the last 6 months with Paige and him and Craig. So.
What did you make of Craig and Kyle's feud?
I mean, I'm laughing because I understand Kyle's frustrations with it. Kyle really thought Craig was a very close friend and how the communication unfolded. From what I understand, I would be upset too. But how you go about it again and how you share some of that. And also, getting competitive with businesses and stuff, it's never great in the public eye like that. So I think Kyle's learned from that scenario because it was a lot for not only him and his relationship with the business. There's a lot on social media. Sometimes taking the high road is the right thing to do.
Sure, yeah.
And just keeping your mouth shut. But I don't know. I try to tell him, like, if you need to say something, send it.
Just say
like the 17-page email. I'm like, he sent it to me, but I did tell him to send it.
Yes, totally. You filmed with Craig over the summer.
I did, yeah.
What was it like? What was kind of the vibe like with him over the summer?
The first thing I remember of Craig was he was loading our little mini fridge with non-alcoholic beer. And I was like, awesome, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's great to see. He's like, yeah, I haven't been drinking. I'm like, great. And in my head, I'm thinking, like, I have another buddy now.
Sure, yeah.
I have another friend I can enjoy non-alcoholic beer with. I didn't pick up on a ton of stuff. All I can say is, like, energy-wise, you could tell that they were both faced with, like, tough questions about the relationship. And I know that every summer, Kyle and Amanda have been faced that. Yeah. Lindsay and I were. This show really forces you to ask tough questions of yourself, of your relationship, of everything that's going on. And sometimes it's really hard because, like, it forces you to do something you're not ready for. And I think Paige and Craig were kind of in this, like, okay, been together 3 years. What are we really doing? And I think it revealed itself. And honestly, I give them a lot of credit for trying their best to work through it. But breaking up in the public eye is never easy. Feelings get hurt. Then there's things said. And now you have, like, just a lot of different words coming out. But I think as the seasons unfold, hopefully we'll learn and understand more about all of it. And then, of course, the reunion.
Yeah.
That'll
be something.
Always.
Advice for them going through a public breakup.
My biggest advice, I mean, try not to look on social media. I mean, it'd be nice to take my own medicine. Yeah. But it's hard sometimes to not look. But it can make yourself feel even more upset or emotional. And I said this before, but I'll remind yourself during a breakup, not everybody actually knows or really cares as much as you think they do. Yeah. This may sound cheesy, but I really mean it. Like, get outside of your head. Go do something for someone else. Go volunteer. Go help a underprivileged community. Do something for someone else. Yeah. And I think getting out of your own head will help that kind of feeling. Because you remember how easy and how lucky you have things. And you're probably like, wow, like, breaking up isn't as bad as some of these other situations. Yeah. So I know it might sound cheesy, but I think self-care and like taking care of yourself, try to do the work and not bring some of that past into your next relationship. Try to be kind, but I don't know, it's hard. Be kind, but tell the truth.
Sure, yeah.
And there's that's a balance. Right. Sometimes the truth can be mean and not easy to take.
Craig has been getting some flack on social media, based on like what he said, his Watch What Happens Live appearance. What did you kind of make of that?
I'm going to just say, I think as a male, regardless of how things unfold, I think you have an obligation to be very diplomatic and I think express more of a mature way of, and I'm not saying he didn't do that, but there are some, I think in that scenario of him and Paige, like the way she kind of announced it, it seemed like that was a kind of clean, obviously difficult situation, but I just kind of wish maybe Craig it's tough. He's on another show. There's a lot happening. But I feel like Craig had an opportunity to kind of be a little more respectful at the beginning towards the situation. And it didn't end up happening that way. And now there's like this back and forth between people. And I don't know. I just feel like sometimes taking the high road and just shutting up is the better way to go. I get it. No one is ever going to let Craig be quiet.
Right.
But I know enough to know Paige did a lot to support Craig and vice versa, but I think Paige really has helped him become a better version of himself and become a better man, and certainly protected him in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of drama between the group and because of Craig's things that Paige protected, but that caused friction for all of us. Which is what you're witnessing over the rage text.
Right.
And
yeah.
Paige has been kind of in the middle of some things because of Craig or Hannah or whoever else.
Were you there when they picked cameras back up?
I was not.
Okay.
But I heard about it.
Okay. I'm sure I can't. I'm ready for that.
Well, I heard it was actually at Lindsay's apartment.
Okay.
Or my old apartment. So anyway, yeah, I'm glad that Paige has the girls. I know obviously Lindsay had the girls after everything went down. So it's nice to see everybody rally around Paige. I've certainly rallied around her. I care about her. I want her to feel the love and support. It's a tough situation. I equally feel bad for Craig and her.
Yeah.
I just kind of wish it would go away.
Yes.
Just move on. Guess what? It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen because we're going to have to relive it. And right, you said, right?
And now everybody's looking for these little nuggets and pearls and kind of little clues.
Yeah. It's tough.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But hopefully good TV.
Hopefully good TV. I mean, and speaking of good TV, like you said before, you and Lindsay kind of do go at it, it seems like, at this dinner.
Yeah.
That you said you're praying for her and, you know, she doesn't need your prayers. Well, can you give us a little bit of context about what that is? Because we also see in the trailer that she's having a conversation with Gabby, calling out somebody for being a cheater and a fraud. Was that you?
I'm assuming it's about me.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I'm guessing it was.
Right.
I'm not a cheater. Not sure what I would be fraudulent about, but again, it's a trailer.
Right, of course.
I started to pursue and date someone it was like 2 dates, not even 2 dates, 1 date, and started to talk to someone. And that turned into a big conversation at dinner, which you will see. And I mean, I haven't been at a dinner like this in quite a while with us, where it was really intense, but not like drunk, crazy intense. It was just like back, forth.
A lot of emotions.
Just 10 toes down, fact, questionable information, fact, questionable information.
Yeah.
But I'm proud of the fact that we both, I don't know, got through it. I'm proud that I stood my ground and shared where I was coming from. It's going to be a pretty ridiculous, intense dinner.
Yeah.
Just because there was a lot of emotion tied to what was being said. But in the end, I think, as I recall, Kyle clapped to end the dinner, if that gives any
all right. Maybe you just had to like let it all out.
I think we had to get it all out. And then for the most part after that, it was
smooth sailing.
I think. There's a few things.
Well, I never thought that like you and Lindsay would get along better than West and Sierra. So
that's true. Well, I mean, if you think about it, me and Lindsay have had so much more history.
Sure.
You know, West and Sierra only knew each other less than a year.
Yeah.
Or when they started, literally a couple weeks. And then that fall, like they started to pursue more. And then by the winter, West had decided to move on.
Yeah.
But they were less than a year. They were 6 months.
That's true. Yeah. What did you make of his apology? Did it seem sincere? Did it seem like he was just kind of going through the motions?
I think he genuinely feels bad. Now, being a guy in this environment, it's hard. And I think sometimes you're caught off guard. You're not sure. You see someone, like you're witnessing someone who's actually really visibly upset and angry with you. It's hard sometimes to deliver or say, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's important to like recognize and take accountability. Sierra, I mean, is an amazing person. And I think it's been nice to see her like share more about how she's really feeling and not hold that back. And I give her a lot of credit for sharing that. People are always going to have their opinions about it at a dinner table or whatever. But I think you'll see with West and Sierra, like they both kind of, I feel like moved on after that. I feel like it helped.
That's good.
Clear the air. And everybody was waiting for that moment, right? Like I didn't know what was going to happen, but I actually I wasn't privy to the whole New York Times thing. But once I heard that at the table, I went back and read it. I was like, I get it now.
Yeah, right. Not a good look. Is Jesse making a big mistake about getting into a relationship so soon?
I mean, I wouldn't call it.
Or a summer house relationship.
No, go for it, Jesse.
Fling? Yeah.
Listen, whenever you are having fun in the summer, go for it.
Okay.
Don't, I'm sure people are going to be like, oh, why'd you go, move so quickly?
Yeah.
I mean, he walked in the house. He's single. The previous summer, he was having some fun, but here he is finding, like, it's nice to meet someone in the house.
Sure, yeah.
It's great if it goes well.
Yeah, right.
Until it doesn't.
Until it doesn't.
I was excited for him. I was nervous how quickly things were speeding because, listen, you guys barely know each other. And also on the weekend, and I can relate to this, sometimes on the weekend, things are like so intense and lovey, and then Monday through Friday, you're back at your work or your normal life. The consistency can change.
Yeah.
And I just think sometimes the summer can speed things up, but then during the week, it's like, okay, what's actually happening? Right
Sure,
now?
yeah.
And we're back at our work or doing what we normally do. But I'm rooting for them.
Yeah.
You know, I think Lexi's a sweetheart. I think Jesse's a great guy.
It seems like things get a little messy, though.
It'll get a little interesting.
Sure, okay.
But, you know, whenever you start that quickly, and I mean, the first day I met her, he was at lunch
declaring his love.
Yeah. I'm like, pump the brakes, bud.
Seriously. So what do the newbies bring to the mix?
The newbies are great. So Lexi, I mean, for the first time in how many years, we finally have a Canadian.
Yes, okay.
Which I love. I remember making jokes about Canadian women in early seasons. But no, Lexi's a sweetheart. She's very attractive, which is obviously it's fun when there's a new attractive girl. We have a beautiful group of girls, though. And Lexi, I think, comes in. It's not an easy situation to come into when you have a lot of standing friendships. But I give her credit. I mean, she opened herself up.
Yeah.
She was willing to date and look around, you know, have fun. So I really appreciated what Lexi did. And I think you'll see more. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Jesse and Lexi in the rooms that I wasn't in.
Okay.
And see how they talk and all that.
Totally.
But yeah, I mean, we have, you know, Imrul, who brings a lot of good,
it seems like it.
Good stuff. I smile because as a guy who's had a lot of history on this show, it was just fun to see Imrul letting loose, having fun, being authentic, and just having a good time. Now, he does get a little messy.
Okay.
And
but we love a good mess.
Has fun in the summer. So I think he's going to bring some stuff that we haven't seen in a while.
And there's Bailey as well, too.
Yeah, so Bailey was there to start the summer.
Okay.
It sounded like she had some other stuff going on.
Okay.
I liked Bailey. She was really sweet. She was actually hilarious, super quirky and fun. But I think she was like been dating and was kind of a little more one foot in, one foot out.
One foot, okay.
And it's hard. Like you want to have fun, but then if you're dating someone who's back in New York or whatever it was, it makes it
wasn't
hard.
a good fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she starts the summer, doesn't finish the summer.
I mean, she was there for some weekends, and then she was at one of our events in the city. But she was there a good amount.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure.
Right.
I was pretty caught up in my own.
Sure. You're like, I got my own things to worry about.
I mean, yeah, because I was launching my new business.
Yeah.
Starting to date a little bit and just trying to keep my head on straight. So.
Did I hear in an interview that this season is the first season that we're having a threesome in the summer house?
Yes. Which, I mean, I feel like we've had variations of threesomes, but not like this.
Yeah.
It's like a full-blown. Like
a full-blown.
Threesome.
Wow.
It didn't involve me.
You're like, I'm just saying that right now.
I was not involved in this.
Okay. Can you say who was involved in it?
I can't.
Okay. Not even one party?
No.
All right.
But I think you'll be surprised at how it all unfolds.
How it all unfolds.
But it was not me.
Not you.
No.
All right. You know.
Threesomes are overwhelming.
Yes. We're so early on in this season, but is there anything that you are hoping to address when it comes to reunion time? I know we're very, very early.
I'm sure there'll be some stuff that just transpires from certain things.
Sure.
But I don't know. It just feels so much better than how it was last year. Just having a lot to answer for and talk through.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm just glad that people are, I hope, seeing me for who I am.
Yeah.
You know, and I think sometimes when you're in a relationship and you're as far along as we were, like you can lose yourself sometimes. And I'm excited for people to hopefully really get a view of where I'm at in my life right now and what I'm really all about and just my demeanor and who I am.
Yeah.
Like I'm figuring things out, and I'm just glad that I was able to like come into my own. And like it's Carl. It's his own thoughts, his own feelings, his own opinions. If you really hate me now, then that's cool because you're hating me for who I really am, and that's okay.
That's okay.
Like go do things I really want to do. I just turned 40.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
How do you feel about this new decade?
I feel good.
Yeah.
It took me a little bit to adjust.
Okay.
But someone, and this is a quote that a lot of people talk about, but a friend of mine, I was complaining about being 42. And he's like, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you are? I was like, I like that.
I like that.
I said about 25.
Yeah.
So.
Forever 20. What is it like having like
forever 25?
Forever 25.
That's another story.
Right? What do you make of like having like a 25, 26-year-olds in the house? Do you ever feel the age gap?
I honestly, It's been fun.
Yeah.
Like I'm learning about some new music, some new lingo and slang. Like West has words it's interesting. Like, I have words, like I say, like crash out is a new thing.
Okay.
We used to say meltdown. Meltdown is the same thing, but like crash out's the word now.
Okay.
And I'm like, it's meltdown. Whatever happened to meltdown?
Right.
So there's things that are shifting a little bit, but for the most part, the age you don't really realize.
Yeah.
You know, Kyle and I act like we're 20. Kyle more than me. He's so much fun.
Yeah.
But Jesse and Wes still bring a lot of fun, young energy, and then the girls being younger. It's a good mix.
Yeah, it
is. You need some young energy and some older, and some all in between.
Definitely, it's a good group.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think it's actually one of our better seasons we've ever had. And I'm not just saying that because every season we say something along those lines, but this season specifically is different because I think you're getting some new things that you're not seeing before. You're getting some developments of our true friendships, new businesses launched, Amanda's swimsuit line.
Yeah, so exciting.
You know, it's just like a furthering of everybody's story, but in a different way.
Definitely.
And it's nice to see, I think, like that.
It's going to be a good season.
I think so.
Carl, thank you so much.
You.
It's always so good seeing
Great
you.
to see you too.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.